Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me this evening for my second annual State of the City address. This is part of my commitment to providing our community with transparency and accountability in local government. I would like to start by recognizing and thanking a few people that helped make this event happen. Thank you to my incredibly hardworking community outreach staff for organizing tonight's event. From invitations to a taste of Warren, this takes weeks of preparation. And I want to also thank the businesses that generously volunteered their time, donated food, and I always appreciate the opportunity to feature restaurants in our community. I believe you can eat your way around the world in Warren. Food tourism is an economic driver for communities, and I want to invite more people to visit Warren restaurants. Thank you to our many student volunteers that helped to set up staff vendor tables for businesses that could not be here in person, help to usher, and will be helping to tear down and clean up as well. Thank you to the communication department for hosting us, promoting, prepping, streaming, and recording the State of the City address for those who cannot be here with us in person. I would like to thank the locally elected leadership for Warren, those who are elected to represent our community at every level of government, as well as local leaders in our community. While you maintain demanding schedules, you continuously show up for our community. So I thank you. A special thank you to Warren's civil servants under the leadership of their hardworking department heads. You provide the dependable services residents expect and appreciate. Without you, everyday efforts, I would have nothing to celebrate tonight. Tonight is all about what you help accomplish. And I could not possibly pack all that is done in the course of a year in the city of Warren into one speech. We would be here indefinitely. But I want you to know that I see what you do every day and appreciate all that you do for our city. Just completing my second year as mayor of Warren has been an honor and a privilege. Working together with so many in the community to make Warren a better place to live, work, play, and grow. Leading the third largest city in Michigan has brought me many joyful and jubilant experiences, and it has also brought challenges and surprises. I have learned to expect the unexpected and endless inspiration to wake up each day with a positive mindset, committed to meeting the needs of our community. 6 months ago, we were here to have a conversation about the costs and investments that it takes to provide the services and fulfill the functions of local government. The City Council adopted a fiscally responsible, balanced budget for how your tax dollars and revenue will be invested and put to work, and I thank them. I can testify to the fact that in every department in the city of Warren, there are good stewards of your tax dollars, providing the best possible return on your investment, leveraging tax cooperatively, collaboratively, and collectively whenever possible, and drawing down grant dollars to help tax dollars go farther. When you elected me mayor 2 years ago, I had thousands of discussions with residents about what they loved about their city, as well as their concerns and opportunities for improvement. And I committed to continuing these conversations, helping neighbors with constituent services, providing opportunities for civic engagement, and providing community outreach so every member of our community knows government is so much more than City Hall. In government, it is said you go slow to go fast, building effective policies and procedures, building a team, changing culture, reflection on what is working well and what could be working better, developing relationships. These are all parts of the foundation to move Warren's priorities forward. 2 years ago, you joined me for listening sessions on our priorities, so myself, council members, and department heads would have firsthand the chance to hear the concerns and ideas about public safety, economic development, investing in infrastructure, parks and recreation, and environmental sustainability. So tonight, I'm glad to have the state of the city to showcase, highlight, and update progress being made toward these priorities. My department heads and staff will tell you that I do not miss an opportunity to celebrate. There are so many good things happening. While there are plenty of problems that need to be solved, taking the time to reflect on those things that we have accomplished not only boosts morale, but centers us in the fact that we can because we have. We can solve problems because we have. We can do difficult things because we already have. We can come up with innovative solutions because we have. We can work together because we have. And we can accomplish great things because we already have. I wanted to talk about a little bit about what, as serving as mayor, the team I built in my office has been tasked with. And we have been busy working together to serve this community, helping residents, filling commissions, and fulfilling community outreach, delivering on the priorities that residents have established. So far, in 2025, our constituent services have assisted with 3,074 cases to date. And I will not be surprised if we cross the 4,000 case mark before the end of the year. I pride myself on serving our community. I recognize that government can be tricky to navigate. Along with myself, my constituent service team works every day to answer questions, solve problems, and so far in 2025, we've handled over 97% of our cases with a completion. But we don't stop until we get them all. At the city level, we have 31 boards and commission. No small task. We have filled 15 of these boards and commissions completely, but we still have openings on 16 of these boards and commissions. We could use you to come aboard, volunteer your time and talents and passions. If you have an interest in beautification, historical knowledge, or senior health care, and there are many, many other positions available. Well, it looks like there should be half of these positions open. There is not. Of the 215 appointed positions, 172 positions are filled. We have filled 80% of these positions and have about 43 left. The mayor's office have received 185 applications. I've interviewed 171, and 57 applicants are still pending. About 1/3 of the appointed positions are up for consideration each year. If you're interested in volunteering your time for a commission, an application can be found at the city website. And here are just a few of our appointees and reappointees serving the community. Working together with the City Council during my administration, 92 people have been appointed to boards and commissions. 42 have been reappointments, and 50 are new appointments. There is a lot of interest. Mostly, people just don't know what they exist, how they exist, or how to get involved. Another important service is community outreach. I have a team that shows up every day, invested in our community, looking for ways to make it better. And that looks like community engagement. In the last year, they've organized 43 events. That's averaging at least 3 a month. They have engaged with 1,960 event participants, 125 are youth volunteers, 85 are business connections, 13 are community partnerships. We can't do it alone. We've done community check-ins, civic engagement, veteran services, community celebrations, skilled trades fair, and so much more. And my staff keeps telling me to stop telling people that we're going to go walk 8 Mile. But you know what? If it gets someone to pay attention, it's worth it. What community outreach does is placemaking. It is bringing people together. It is making connections. It's building community and making sure that people see themselves in their community. Another point of pride is empowering civic engagement. This has totally been ripped off from a combination of our Citizens Police Academy, and other communities who have found it beneficial to get community members engaged in local government. All the things that, when it's being done so well, you don't even have to think twice about it. But it reached out to department heads and said, I need you to help me show the community what you do and where their tax dollars go. And we had fun. We visited with communications, water, wastewater treatment, parks and recreation, Department of Public Works, economic development, fire, sanitation. And you know what? Every time people came, they said, I learned something new, I had a good time, and when's that next one? So I'm looking forward in 2026 to selecting a few more departments to showcase. And we can only be successful when we're working together. Working together with schools to recruit future civil service members. We don't talk about careers in civil service. So it's important to engage and talk about career pathways. It's important that when our city council president gets up and talks to chambers, they're promoting our community and explaining what is happening right in Warren and why people should engage here. It is important working with our school superintendents and being able to partner them with such community resources as our FBI, who does education and security lessons. And having a good time, but also for a good cause, like collecting gifts for our kids whose families are struggling. Whether we're helping our community understand the process of how taxation works, or we're building relationships across community lines, and our community's interests don't stop at a border. Helping our community celebrate what is special, and even having international relations when you realize that cities across a border have the same interests, and by working together, we can make an impact. These are all ways that we get to our first priority, which is fueling our economic ecosystem. I often hear, there's nothing happening in Warren unless it's a gas station, a car wash, a storage, self-storage, or dollar store. Well, I'm here to tell you, pay attention, because that's not all. First of all, I would like to celebrate our Community and Economic Development Department head, Tom Bomarito. Tom was honored by the Michigan Economic Development Association as their 2025 MEDA Medalist of the Year, having distinguished contributions to the field of economic development. Tom led the team that is responsible for implementing economic development functions, including Warren's Downtown Development Authority, the Tax Increment Financing Authority, 8 Mile Boulevard Association, Brownfield Authority, Community Development Block Grant, and so much more. He doesn't do it alone. He has built a reliable team, and they are helping to fuel our economic future. Economic development initiatives were showcased during our August Empowering Civic Engagement series. And what we realized is we could probably do a whole series just on the economic development functions. I'm really proud that I get to brag about the Arsenal Alliance. This is a partnership with Sterling Heights committed to the preservation and expansion of our shared $6.5 billion defense corridor. We are stronger together in growing military and defense assets, providing opportunities for manufacturing to adapt to a changing mobility landscape. Building on defense, as a guest of the Macomb County Chamber, I joined federal, state, and local government representation during Operation Northern Strike at Camp Grayling. The big picture is that beyond the Detroit Arsenal and the defense corridor, statewide military and defense are built on layers from Selfridge to Camp Grayling, and only by working together across levels of government will we work to maintain our valuable military assets. And the state of Michigan has recognized that one of our challenges is not enough affordable housing. We know that simply the supplies that you buy to build a house, when you assemble the house, do not equal what you recoup in value. So we have a challenge. We have a challenge working together to utilize economic development tools in partnership with state and federal financing and working with our local developers to build more housing. Fay Baker and Baker Associates has broken ground and is getting ready for the placement of modular housing at west of Van Dyke, north of Topher. And that's just the start. Warren is working with developers on 700 plus workforce housing units, the first housing development that we've seen here in Warren in 30 years. This will make housing more affordable for everyone. It's a problem when we have to compete for the same housing stock. Let me tell you about a few more things that are going well in Warren. As a city leader, I have the unique privilege to join with business owners who have invested in our community to celebrate and welcome them to our community. And here's just a handful of some of our new faces. I had the opportunity to welcome New York City Halal Eats. They know their community because they know we like halal, and we also like good food. And it's not all about new builds. Sometimes it's about reinvestment. So I was very happy to join with LA Fitness for their grand reopening after undergoing a significant investment into remodeling and upgrades, as well as their member appreciation. We welcomed a new business that is offering immigration legal services. This is an important field in our community. Welcoming Time Together Adult Day Center. This is a unique business that provides care and companionship, prevents social isolation, and offers respite for caregivers. They expanded their business to include a second location and located it in Warren. It definitely meets a need of our aging residents. And I can't tell you how excited I was to pull up for a grand opening for Sherman's Tennessee Hot Crackers and discover Chuck Fanatta and his daughter Pam, who I go back all the way to elementary school with, when they decided to relocate their production facility from St. Clair Shores back home to Warren, repurposing a manufacturing facility as part of a family-based small business. and we still need our cars washed. Welcome to All Car Wash. We have some really innovative businesses. Recoup Technology offers a technology that is able to break down food waste faster than composting. They break down food waste to a liquid for disposal. It saves on solid waste from landfills. And it has taken root in cruise ships. But there are so many more opportunities for restaurants and others to take this up. Maven Commercial Cleaning, not your house cleaning. They work on computers. We are part of a collective of all the communities that share a boundary with 8 Mile. And so we have the opportunity to connect and remind ourselves that by investing, by keeping up with our infrastructure, 8 Mile is an essential economic corridor. We should take pride in that and remind ourselves. I have been walking 8 Mile with my team, at least for 6 visits, and with our goal to make it from Hayes to DeQuinder. And I can't tell you how many businesses that we've come across that have been located there for 30, 40, 50, 80 years. And I'm very proud to announce that SEMCOG, the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, awarded us a $32,740 grant for the Stevens Road Greenway Planning Assistance. This funding supports a collaborative that allows Warren, along with neighbors of East Point, Centerline, and St. Clair Shores, to take an important step towards a shared vision for safer, more connected, and more sustainable public spaces. Assist our communities in conducting feasibility assessments, identifying shared goals, and developing a framework for potential future investments and improvements. Examine opportunities to enhance public spaces, provide environmental and stormwater benefits, increase non-motorized connectivity, and improve aesthetic character along the corridor. Thoughtful planning today helps to ensure our communities remain vibrant and resilient for generations to come. We are creating a cohesive, energized economic corridor. And I'll take the opportunity to re-announce and share the good news that was shared with us that that Stellantis, a Warren Truck Assembly Plant, has announced their plans to develop some new vehicles, including an all-new range extending EV and an internal combustion engine SUV that will be produced here in Warren. They're committing to a nearly $100 million investment to retool this facility, and they're anticipating adding 900 jobs to this plant. I think the economic future is bright here in Warren. Let's talk about investing in infrastructure. When I say invest in infrastructure, the first thing people think of is roads. And I'll tell you, our engineering department has been working hard, paving big roads, working with county to pave roads, small roads, pavement patching, helping make our road quality go further. But there's so much more to infrastructure than roads. So let's talk about building maintenance. Building maintenance keeps up more than 19 buildings for city use. This year, a big investment in a 20-plus-year-old building of City Hall was recarpeting the whole building, all 4 floors. And we added, right around Christmas last year, new furniture to our atrium. And it brings me such joy to walk through the atrium and watch students studying, parents having snacks with kids, families getting together, people taking meetings, or just taking the time to relax. City Hall is the community's house, and I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to occupy it. But building maintenance also is responsible for ADA improvements to City Hall, the 37th District Court building, and Warren Police Department. They worked on restriping and weather stripping and clock tower repairs to the parking structure. Let's talk about property management, because in the summer, I talk to more Warren residents about property management than anything else. And let me tell you, we have a dedicated, determined team of property management, property maintenance, blight enforcement in our community. They work on residential properties and commercial. They participate in random sweeps as well as in response to complaints of ordinance violation. When our council adopted the noxious weed ordinance, they were able to give our property maintenance team a greater enforcement tool that allowed people to keep up their property with greater efficiency. And they're also in for the big projects too. So when I have my public service director show up and say, we got a problem, we're ready to tackle it, and we got a plan, I have absolute faith when they pull out 120 plus vehicles, spend 3 days cleaning up a property, and the property owner is responsible for the cleanup costs. When we talk about infrastructure, it's also blighted buildings. And our community development block grant gives us the funding to purchase 2 blighted buildings, homes every year, fix them, and then offer them to community members who fit the eligibility. I believe it's 120% of the average median income, and allow them to be homeowners in homes that they can be proud of. When you say infrastructure, think about drinking water. Think about lead service replacement. To date, this year, our water department has replaced 50 lead services, adding to the 420 total lead service line replaced as part of an ongoing program. And I'm very proud to announce that the results of our annual lead sampling collected between July 1st and September 30th remain well below action levels set by Eagle. Water also looks like fire hydrants. Responsibility for maintenance of the city's 5,225 fire hydrants was transferred from fire to the water division, and the maintenance includes regular flushing, repair, winterization to ensure year-round operational readiness when the fire department needs it. Residential cross-connection. When I started, I had no idea what it means, but now I do. Beginning October 1st of 2025, our water division staff will begin conducting residential inspections as part of the state of Michigan's Eagle-mandated cross-connection control program. They're ensuring that the protection of the public water supply is from being prevented from potential contamination risk. And so these inspections have been expanded to include the 48088 zip code, and in the first week, it was shared that the crew visited 88 homes and was able to complete 33 inspections. Residents responded positively with strong cooperation citywide. There's a new drop box installed at the water garage for convenient return of surveys, and an online form will be coming soon to make reporting even easier. Let's talk about technology as infrastructure. Our SCADA system is a platform, computer-based platform. And this system provides real-time monitoring and control of system pressures contributing to fewer water main breaks and improved system performance. The proactive maintenance of our water department has really paid off. With the fluctuations in water pressure, many communities have been ravaged by water main breaks, and Warren has not had that because of our water department, so thank you. I get to take another lap on the Stevens Road detention basin. And when you spend this much money on infrastructure, say it again and again and again and again. We invested in a pump house and a water main replacement, as well as in this cutting-edge, state-of-the-art equipment. 2025 brought the completion of a 3-phase infrastructure investment that allows the city of Warren to actively manage extreme rain events, which has already proven to be a significant improvement. When I started and there was flooding, the only thing that we could do is wait for gravity. That was our only option. And now on several occasions, the Stevens Road detention basin has been utilized to pump water from inundated storm sewers to create space and time for a wastewater treatment plant to function as designed, reducing the amount of incomplete discharges into our Clinton River watershed during storms, and more importantly, this infrastructure has reduced the incidence of basement flooding, saving homeowners from the cost of flood recovery and the stress of basement cleanups. Warren, we did that. We did that. February 24th, 2025, ribbon cutting ceremony for the grand opening of the Stevens Road sanitary sewer detention basin took place. It holds 22 million gallons, and arguably there is not too many of these out there. This is something that is really unique to what we do. And I take this and I highlight this because no sooner do we finish one landmark-making accomplishment than we still have other things. When your city's going on 70 years old, we've got some maintenance to do. But I'm very proud that we have a wastewater treatment department that is proactive. They got grant funding to start evaluating and looking for equipment that was approaching the end-of-life function, so that we're not a community asking for someone to come and bail us out and save us from a crisis. Because we can be proactive, we can plan ahead, we can do the smart things, and we can make sure that we're set up to do good things. Running a wastewater treatment operation is expensive, but it saves you as wastewater users in the end, because we have impact on what those rates are. So we know that our wastewater incinerator is at that end of the line. I think we had 3 or 4 issues that needed to repair this year. And so I am appreciative of all the groundwork that was laid before. It started with years when I was in the legislature getting a call and saying, we need this funding, what can you do? Can you get together and help us? So we were able to secure $100 million in low interest savings to taxpayers through a Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan. I believe it's 2% that we're able to fund at, which is significantly less than any other interest rate that we would get funding for. And we will be able to construct a state-of-the-art, next-generation wastewater treatment incineration project. And not only that, we also are receiving $9,227,000 in loan forgiveness. So that's a nice little help from the state of Michigan. And so I have to express my appreciation to our delegation. Thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for helping our advocates. Thank you for raising the voice when people said, incinerators, what are those? We don't do that anymore. And giving us an opportunity to make a case for why this technology is cleaner, more efficient, and is how our community manages our waste byproducts. We're doing some incredible things, and it's my privilege to shout out work that is being done. The City of Warren has completed our draft of our American with Disability Act transition plan. This is our commitment, our promise to the community that any buildings or any parks that are public, that we are working towards making sure that they are inclusive and accessible. We have already hosted 2 public engagement presentations this month, but we're not done because I need your help. We've recorded these presentations for anyone who could not attend in person, and they're available on the city website, as well as the language for this draft transition plan. But we need public input on these surveys. Anything that we might have a blind spot on, anything that you see that isn't meeting the mark. We have till the end of October, and the feedback that is provided by our community will be taken into consideration as we finalize our plan. Help us spread the word. We've been busy studying. We have our active mobility plan. This is a plan that will help us build safer, walkable, better connected community, provide for greater accessibility benefits for everyone, and helps to foster economic stimulation. So this plan has been rolled out to the Planning Commission, and will be presented to council. If you have not heard what is included in this, I encourage you to take the opportunity to check out the recordings and help move it along. And a significant investment from SEMCOG's TAP, Transportation Alternative Program, will provide us with a significant investment in a big piece of the infrastructure essential for this active mobility plan. This $1,256,742 grant will help in building a bridge from Chicago Road to connect residents to the Warren Community Center. That will help us navigate parks more safely and move faster. This will be a significant piece of our active mobility plan, creating safer connections. And thank you to everyone who collaborated on securing funding. Our economic development team, our engineering team. We can make our tax dollars go further without raising taxes when we have the opportunity to draw down these funds. Let's talk about Parks and Recreation. Are you getting your money's worth out of your Parks and Recreation millage dollars? Are you getting your money's worth out of library millage dollars? If you have not visited any of the destination parks in Warren, you are missing out. Warren is one of the only cities I know in the state of Michigan that you can visit a different park every day of the month without repeating. If you are not attending free programming, you are missing out. If you're not utilizing library services beyond books, you are missing out. Warren residents have access to numerous events that are at no additional cost because we invest up front. In many communities, residents pay as you go, and every activity comes with a registration and a fee. Warren, are you getting your return on investment? There is no excuse for missing out on hours of entertainment, programming, because of overwhelming demand. Our Warren today is back in print. Library Parks programming is available and mailed home to homes, and we're seeing it pay off in increased registration and participation. The Warren Community Center, we listened when you asked for what you wanted to see improve and change in parks. You wanted increased staffing levels, and so we've been hiring. You wanted longer hours and try to work towards pre-COVID levels, and we're working on it. We've restored public swim on Sundays, and we've replaced nearly $1 million in pool equipment. So everything old is new again. I think Warren's answer to the farmers market is the City Square Street Fair, with foam fountain parties, free kids entertainments, vendors, food trucks, and free family movies. There is a lot of fun to be had. It is the last Wednesday of every month through the summer months, and I encourage you, if you missed out this year, come back next year. Our parks have been, of the 30 parks, we've got a lot of work to do, but I'm really proud of the completion of work at Litch Park. Litch improvements includes accessible play structures, improvements to the walking paths, and bathrooms. If you haven't been lately, pay it a visit. And we are committing to 3 parks at $250,000 apiece this coming year. Altermat Park, it has two play structures that have aged out and are ready to be replaced, and it will be a sensory experience park, including a sensory wave seat, swings, and expression seating for parents and infants, slides, music, including drums, bongos, bells, and train whistles, climbers, a challenge bridge, gizmo panel, and so much more. So check it out. Another $250,000 is going to JC Park. JC Park is going to see climbers, swings, expression swing seating, nets for climbing, a leaf seat, double zip slides, and an overlook climber. And at Rents Park, we're also replacing the pea stone gravel surface, with a new surface that will get us to ADA compliant and make it more accessible. An ADA transfer accessible structure with swings, expression swing, seesaws, wall climbers, slides and more slides, and high capacity spinning net. So if you haven't visited Altermat, JC, or Rents in a while, it's time to give them another visit. When you think of Parks and Recreation, you might not be thinking about our cultural commissions, concerts at the square. Countless hours of entertainment and enjoyment free of charge for enjoyment. You might not realize that Warren and Centerline Parks and Recreation joined in an intergovernmental agreement. Centerline helps Warren by helping to offset the costs of funding for maintenance and upkeep of pool facilities, And we have the opportunity to participate in Centerline's programming and trips as residents at residential rate. I encourage you to take it up. Parks and Recreation is also senior housing. When we sat down with our seniors at senior housing, they said, we want to be mobile, we want outings, and we want to be social. So we've been able to partner up with our Smart Bus services, providing outings to Tiger Games, the Detroit Zoo, the Wright Museum, breakfast and lunch outings, and trips to the store. This provides our seniors greater independence, interactions, and adventures. And we celebrated our 50th anniversary of Stillwell Manor at the beginning of October. And congratulations to the team that staffs every day. They work so hard to take care of our residents, provide them safe, comfortable, affordable living experiences, and they put on some really spectacular events. Library programming is Parks and Recreation. Our library earned a $7,000 grant from the Will Eisner Innovation Graphic Novel Grant. Our libraries partnered with students at Chatterton Middle School. They were able to purchase a graphic novel collection for our teens, and they were able to bring in 3 presenters who are graphic artists to help the students. And the students at Chatterton produced their first graphic novel called First Panels, Voices from the Margins. So let's talk about environment. Environmental sustainability was an issue that is close to the heart for many different people for many reasons. And it looks like our first electric fleet vehicle, Water Division has added the city's first electric fleet vehicle, a 2025 GM Chevy Bright Drop work van, and that will be helping to support our meter division. We're making leaps and bounds, guys. I have to commend our wastewater treatment plant's industrial pretreatment program. The Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy recognized Warren's IPP program for 40 years of participation in partnership in protecting our environment. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the term the industrial pretreatment program, these are individuals who work with our industry that use toxic chemicals to make sure that they're well managed, disposed of appropriately, don't enter our water supply, don't enter our wastewater treatment plant, and when there is an incident or a crisis, they're the first on the scene to respond. And we're very appreciative of what they do. Environmental sustainability is hazardous waste collection. Our sanitation department has offered a hazardous waste collection opportunity every year. And this keeps toxic chemicals out of households, out of waste collection, out of wastewater treatment, and our waterways. But this comes at an investment of $20,000 to $30,000 a year. But I'll tell you, the people who are sitting in line and waiting and will wait till 3 p.m. to make sure they take care of these in an appropriate way appreciate it. And sanitation, recognizing the demand in our community is greater, has committed to offering a second service in the spring in addition to our fall service. So we really appreciate that, and having conversations and recognizing that there are a lot of communities this is not an option, and it matters. Park cleanups. We have an annual Earth Day cleanup. Our community outreach team brought together over 125 community volunteers in partnership with Parks and Recreation to clean up all our parks and give them a nice little sprucing up before the weather turned. We partnered up with Myers Stronger Together volunteer initiative to spend the day working and beautifying JC Park with our Parks and Recreation team. The community outreach team in my department has partnered with Clinton River Watershed Council Solid Waste Prevention Team. They brought volunteers together to clean up Mound Road between 12 and 13 Mile. Meyer helped by providing volunteers and dumpsters, and they collected over 500 pounds of litter. And this is waste that we need it out of the way. And finally, as part of our 8 Mile Boulevard Association and our commitment to keeping 8 Mile beautiful, our team, along with volunteers throughout the communities, the border 8 Mile, got out and gave it a little sprucing up as well. Tree canopy has been an issue for our community. Warren had only about 19% tree canopy. We're very urban, we're very industrial, we're very concrete. And we have been committed to planting trees, and we have passed out 200 free saplings for our Arbor Day celebration, and we are committed to keeping that going. So if you have not got your free sapling, please stop by on our next Arbor Day, and know that the city provides a tree on your easement if yours had to be removed for any reason. So if that is the case for you, please reach out to my office, DPW, and let them know that you're ready to have a tree planted again. And Warren is now home to a microforest. We had a very industrious young lady, Nathania Foresca, who grew up in Warren and has since moved to Macomb Township, but is a 4-H student who's passionate about climate and tree canopy cover. She said that she wanted to work with Warren because she knew being the third largest city in the state, it would make an impact. And so with the support of DPW, planning, Parks and Recreation, we identified Julius Park Circle as a prime candidate as part of our Greenway planting initiative. DPW tore it up and made sure that there was nothing that would be growing that wasn't supposed to be there. Parks and Recreation created a mini nursery on the bocce ball courts at the community center to foster 500 plants through the summer so they didn't dry out. And with a 2 to 3 day planting window at the beginning of September, we had close to 4,000 plants planted on Julius Park Circle. And this is prime time to plant because they go dormant. They'll be dormant through the winter, and they'll be ready to come alive with summer rainstorms. We are so appreciative of all partners, Macomb County, and everyone locally who helped us. We could not have done this. This was a significant investment, but it does show us. This was after one day. This is pretty much right away as we were going. These microforest conditions grow 10 times faster than a normal plant. So I believe it is a red oak that is the centerpiece of this planting, should reach its max height within 10 years. Trees are important, and I've said plenty, we always study, we do these studies. Why are we keep studying them? Studies are important because studies create baselines that qualify you for grant dollars. If you don't have them, you don't qualify. So by conducting these studies, we hired EOCene, and they've been out in the community. I've seen it on Facebook, people talking with them as they come and evaluate. We're assessing 30,000 trees in our public rights of way and parks. We are collecting information on the health, age, and diversity of our plant population, and this provides the baseline data for those grants and making sure that we're keeping a healthy population going forward. Climate Action Plan is something close to many hearts. Warren has selected a contractor that will be providing our baseline and game plan for our Climate Action Plan. The initial study involves gathering data and compiling research. We will have established a baseline greenhouse gas inventory, and they will engage in community engagement. They will recommend how we can reduce emissions and what those targets should look like. Our selection is being finalized, and you can expect an announcement coming soon. And our final priority in the city is providing for the public safety. This year, just about a year from now, or a year ago, we welcomed Commissioner Hawkins to the Warren Police Department. He's pulled his team together to address issues of recruiting, hiring, and promotions. We've been innovative. We've been thinking outside of the box. We've made 18 hires in the last year. We have 6 people that we're putting through the academy. We're following the fire's footprint of Grow Your Own. And so they've been very successful in filling the ranks of the fire department, and it just made sense that we would try to repeat that through the police academy. And we're seeing crime rates that help keep neighborhoods safe. Our violent crime is down 9%, and our property crime is down 11%. This year, we made progress in keeping neighborhoods safe. This means fewer families experiencing trauma of violence and fewer residents dealing with break-ins or theft. These aren't just numbers, they represent real people who are safer in their homes in our community. An innovative program, Operation Cycle Break, came out of mining data and looking at what is happening in our community and where can we make an impact. Many people think that violence is random acts and that they need to be concerned, but data tells us otherwise. Data tells us that most of the crime, violent crime, is connected to domestic violence. After research and proactive policing approaches to domestic violence, Warren PD developed a response that works for Warren. Working with Turning Point Macomb, 37th District Courts, City Attorney's Office, in partnership with Wayne State University, a comprehensive approach has been implemented. Early intervention requiring offenders to get counseling, connecting domestic violence survivors with resources and support, following up with our community policing units, sends the message that domestic violence has no place in Warren. Our Warren Police Department has been a leader on this. Our courts have come to the table committing one docket day to meet those so that the cases don't get pushed down the road. And they also created space for us to accommodate any survivors or witnesses as part of Operational Cycle Breaks initiative. Survivors of domestic violence are provided direct support services and resources from Turning Point on site at the 37th District Court, as well as while they have a space created for while they're awaiting trials or a hearing in court. 37th District Court building was generous, and with the support of Gardner White, created a comfortable space with furnishing for our survivors. It's just one small way to make this process easier. We're so appreciative. Trust grows when we're present in the community, and that is why we host events like community walks. We've gotten together 6 times this summer. These aren't just photo opportunities. They're about showing up, having conversations, listening, sharing information, and being part of the neighborhoods that are served. That's how we build relationships, and that's how we keep our city strong and safe. Not only that, but we have community policing officers who see needs in the community and step up and take initiative. So when it was realized how much need for back to school, backpacks, school supplies, haircuts, and just building relationships with parents to encourage student participating, our Warren Police Department held a school supply drive, found funding for backpacks. We served 700 students in partnership with Warren Fitzgerald Public Schools and Van Dyke Public Schools, but we had students coming from many different communities when they realized what was available. We appreciate all the people who volunteered their talents and our student volunteers that made this event happen. Thank you to our Warren Police Department. So we talked about careers in civil service. Let's talk about careers in law enforcement and first responders. Our Warren Police Department, as part of that grow your own mentality, offers a Police Explorers program. I believe we have 21 young people who have interest in law enforcement careers. They get hands-on first-person experience with the mentorship and guidance of police officers in Warren. They also help us by volunteering and staffing community events, and this is a great experience. It gives them the opportunity to know what they want to do and hopefully pursue that career here in Warren. And we've been very blessed in so many ways, and I'm always reminded how our first responders are family first. When one of our officers was injured tragically, it didn't take but a minute for people to step up and surround the family. And the family of Officer Nick Cott was adopted by Mojo in the Morning as part of their breaking and entering for Christmas. Our community came together to provide them a holiday parade for his son when when Nick could not be there with him. And so we took the opportunity to reach back out to Mojo in the Morning, and express our sincere appreciation and offer a proclamation of thanks. Police aren't in this alone. Fire aren't in this alone. Safety in a community is a responsibility of everyone. The responsibility of our crime commission, responsibility of our citizen emergency response team, responsibility of neighborhood watches, but we also have the opportunity to bring in a group of citizens every year for an 8-week program. They get to have firsthand experiences, do simulations, and we have even found police officers through this process. And so we really appreciate the time and dedication over and above the service they provide to build those relationships in our community. And there's always a rivalry between police and fire, but it's okay. Fire got 2 brand new buildings at $10 million, roughly $10 million each, funded by our Downtown Development Authority. And these are much appreciated state-of-the-art buildings, and these were not our only investments. Every station house in the city got upgrades along with these. We had 7 new EMS squads delivered. It was not poor planning. It was a breakdown in supply chain that 5 years we've been waiting? 4? Yes. But it does remind you that these take planning. This isn't something that you can just order and have delivered. It takes funding, planning, and making sure that the lifespans on these vehicles, for the sheer amount of responses they respond to in our community, are not as long as the vehicle you drive at home. We're always appreciative of the efforts our fire department put on for our community to be safer. We have public safety days. We have a firehouse replica so kids can have the experience of what that might look like if that happens in their house. And last year we had the opportunity to bring in a holiday fire safety demonstration to show you the difference. And they'll tell you this is with sprinklers and without sprinklers, but closing your bedroom door at night can make the difference. Our Warren Crime Commission stepped up and organized a family safety day at Hallmich Park. They offered CPR training and emergency management and a good time. We really appreciate our Crime Commission, along with all of our commissioners that dedicate their time and efforts to making their community a safer place. Warren is invested in being a safer city. And I say that because on the November 4th ballot, Warren, we have a police and fire millage renewal. It is not a rate increase. Our departments, police respond to over 81,000 calls annually. Our fire, for structure fires, responds to 21,000 plus calls. And for medical runs, that's 16,000 calls annually. This millage funds 20% of our police and fire services. It funds apparatus, equipment, training, personnel, and this is information that if you didn't have before or questions you have, please reach out and get what you need before you vote. Where Warren goes, we go together. Thank you.